Angel Whitmore was born with diamonds in her crib and enemies in her bloodline. Her father, billionaire tycoon Vincent Whitmore, owned half the skyline of Atlanta and enough secrets to bury the other half. To the world, Angel was his only daughter, his perfect heiress, the woman who would one day inherit Whitmore Global. But to Vincent, perfection came with rules. Never embarrass the family, never trust a broke man, and never, ever marry beneath your name. Angel broke all three when she married Ronald Hayes. Ronald was handsome, hungry, charming, and dangerous in the way poor men became when they got close enough to wealth to smell it. He promised Angel love when everyone else offered her contracts. He held her hand when her father threatened to cut her off. He whispered, "I don't want your money, Angel. I just want you." So she chose him, and Vincent Whitmore disowned her before the ink dried on the marriage certificate. "You'll come crawling back," Vincent told her coldly, "and when you do, don't expect me to open the door." Angel didn't crawl. She built a life with Ronald from nothing. A small condo, cheap furniture, late bills, empty bank accounts. But she was happy because she believed love was worth losing everything until the babies never came. One failed IVF attempt became 5. 5 became 10. 10 became 20. Every negative pregnancy test tore a little more from her soul. Every doctor's apology sounded like a death sentence. Angel injected hormones into her stomach until bruises bloomed across her skin. She smiled through pain. She prayed through bleeding. She held Ronald when he cried. But slowly, something changed in him. Ronald stopped touching her like she was his wife. He started looking at her like she was a disappointment. Then came Marissa Vale. Marissa was Ronald's new business consultant, but Angel knew a snake when she saw one. Marissa wore perfume too expensive for her position, smiled too sweetly at Angel's husband, and always seemed to be around when Angel wasn't. Angel asked Ronald about her once. He laughed. "Damn, Angel, you're paranoid now?" "No," Angel said quietly. "I'm your wife." "Then act like it," he snapped. That night, Angel cried alone in the bathroom, holding another failed pregnancy test in her trembling hand. Then, 2 months later, everything changed. Angel was 26 when the doctor finally smiled. "Mrs. Hayes," he said gently, "you're pregnant." For the first time in years, Angel couldn't breathe. She touched her stomach and broke down, sobbing. A baby. After 20 failed attempts. After losing her father, her fortune, her peace, and pieces of herself. She finally had a baby. She rushed home to tell Ronald, expecting him to lift her off the floor, to cry, to thank God with her. Instead, he stared at the ultrasound like it was evidence. "How far along?" he asked. 7 weeks? His face hardened. Angel's smile faded. "Ronald?" He tossed the ultrasound onto the table. "That's funny." Her heart dropped. "What is?" He looked at her with disgust. "I was out of town 7 weeks ago." Angel froze. "That embryo transfer was scheduled before you left," she whispered. "You know that?" Ronald laughed bitterly. "Do I? Are you serious right now?" "Don't play dumb with me, Angel." Her hand shook. "This is your child." Bullshit. The word hit her harder than a slap. Marissa had planted the seed, a fake clinic message, a forged appointment record, a photo of Angel entering a hotel where Ronald was told another man had been waiting. All lies. But Ronald believed them because deep down, he wanted to. That night, he packed a bag. Angel stood in the bedroom doorway, pregnant, barefoot, crying. "Ronald, please, don't do this." He didn't even look at her. "I'm not raising another man's bastard." Angel's knees nearly gave out. "You son of a bitch," she whispered. He stopped, jaw tight. She wiped her tears. "After everything I gave up for you, my family, my name, my inheritance, my body, 20 IVF failures, you think I would cheat?" Ronald opened the door. "I don't know who the hell you are anymore." Then he left. But the worst betrayal came 3 nights later. Angel had followed Ronald after receiving an anonymous text. "If you want the truth, follow your husband." Rain poured over the highway as she trailed his black Mercedes at a distance. Her stomach twisted when she saw who sat beside him, Marissa. Then headlights flashed, a truck swerved, tires screamed. Angel slammed her brakes, but it was too late. Metal crushed, glass exploded. Her car spun across the wet road and crashed into the barrier. For a moment, there was only ringing, then pain. Angel blinked through blood dripping into her eye. Her hand flew to her stomach. "No," she gasped. "No, no, no." Through the cracked windshield, she saw Ronald's car stopped ahead. He got out. For 1 second, hope rose in her chest. He saw her. He knew she was trapped. "Ronald!" she screamed. "Help me!" He took 1 step toward her. Then Marissa stumbled from his passenger side, crying dramatically, holding her arm. "Ronald, please, I'm hurt." Angel watched him turn, watched him run to Marissa, watched him lift her into his arms, watched him leave his pregnant wife bleeding in the wreckage. Something inside Angel died that night. By the time the ambulance arrived, she was barely conscious. One paramedic leaned over her. "Ma'am, stay with us." Angel clutched his sleeve. "My baby," she whispered. Then everything went black. When she woke up in the hospital, there were machines beside her bed and stitches above her brow. A nurse smiled softly. "Your baby's heartbeat is strong." Angel turned her face away and sobbed. Not because she was weak, because the baby had survived. And now she knew exactly what she had to do. The next morning, Angel called an attorney. "I want a divorce," she said. The lawyer hesitated. "Mrs. Hayes, are you sure?" Angel looked down at her bruised hands. "Yes, and I want him served publicly." Ronald received the divorce papers at a restaurant, sitting across from Marissa. The server placed the envelope beside his wine glass. Ronald opened it. His face went pale. Marissa leaned in. "What is it?" He stared at Angel's signature, clean, sharp, final. "She filed," he said. Marissa smiled before she could stop herself. Ronald noticed. For the first time, suspicion flickered. Weeks passed. Angel disappeared from the world. No interviews, no social media, no begging, no explanations. Then came the invitation no one expected. Vincent Whitmore's 70th birthday gala, the event of the year. Politicians, billionaires, judges, celebrities, and reporters filled the grand ballroom of the Whitmore estate. Cameras flashed beneath crystal chandeliers. Champagne flowed like water. Ronald attended with Marissa on his arm, mostly because Marissa insisted. "This is your chance," she whispered. Once Angel is officially out of your life, you can rebuild. Ronald didn't answer. He hadn't slept well in weeks. Every night, he saw Angel trapped in that car. Every night, he heard her scream his name. At exactly 9 o'clock, Vincent Whitmore stepped onto the stage. The room fell silent. My daughter once made a choice I did not approve of, Vincent began, and because of my pride, I abandoned her. Ronald stiffened. Vincent's voice grew colder. But a father's pride is a poor excuse for cruelty. The ballroom doors opened. Angel walked in. Gasps moved through the room like wind. She wore a white gown that hugged her small baby bump, her hair swept back, a faint scar near her temple. She looked wounded, regal, untouchable. Ronald stood so fast his chair scraped the floor. Angel, he breathed. She didn't look at him. Vincent reached for her hand and brought her to the stage. My daughter is not only welcomed back into this family, Vincent announced. She is being reinstated as sole heiress of Whitmore Global. Applause erupted. Marissa's smile vanished. Then Vincent lifted a folder. But before we celebrate, there is a matter of truth. The screens behind him lit up. Security footage, clinic records, transfer dates, medical confirmations, a signed statement from the IVF doctor. Then came the final document. Paternity confirmation, Ronald Hayes, biological father. Ronald's face drained of color. The room erupted in whispers. Angel finally looked at him. Her eyes were ice. Vincent continued. My grandchild was conceived through the final embryo created by Angel and Ronald Hayes before his business trip. Any accusation of infidelity was false. Ronald turned slowly toward Marissa. She backed away. Ronald, I can explain. He stared at her. What the hell did you do? Marissa's lips trembled. I did it for us. For us? He said, voice rising. You ruined my marriage. No, she snapped. She ruined you. You were always chasing her, always living in her shadow. I gave you a way out. Ronald looked sick. Then Vincent nodded to security. Two men stepped toward Marissa. Vincent's voice cut through the room. Marissa Vale is also responsible for falsifying medical records, staging evidence, and sending the anonymous text that led my daughter into the crash. Ronald stumbled back. Angel's hand moved protectively over her stomach. He turned to her, tears filling his eyes. Angel. She stepped down from the stage slowly. He moved toward her. I didn't know. She stopped inches away from him. No, she said softly. You didn't want to know. His face crumpled. I made a mistake. Angel laughed once, cold and broken. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary, Ronald. A mistake is burning dinner. You left your pregnant wife bleeding in a car because your side piece had a damn scratch on her arm. The entire ballroom went silent. Ronald whispered, "I'm sorry." Angel leaned closer. "You lost me the moment you looked at me and called our baby another man's child." "Please," he said, "let me fix this." She shook her head. "You can't fix what you were willing to abandon." He reached for her hand, but she stepped back. "My attorney will contact you about the divorce. And as for my child," her voice hardened, "you'll have to fight like hell to prove you deserve to be called a father." Ronald's tears fell freely now. Angel turned away. For years, she had given him everything: her name, her family, her body, her loyalty, her love. And when she needed him most, he chose another woman. Now he stood in a ballroom full of powerful people, finally seeing the truth. Angel was never the woman who needed saving. She was the woman he should have never betrayed. And as Vincent Whitmore wrapped an arm around his daughter, Ronald watched the only woman who had ever truly loved him walk out of his life. This time, she didn't look back. Please like, share, and subscribe.